folks, welcome to Calvin's Got Game. I'm Calvin.
I'm Lewis.
Hey guys, today we're continuing on our top 100 and we're doing 71 to 60 to 70 to 61. I'll get it right in a minute. All right, but before we do that, today, or as the day we're doing this is the last day to get your entry in on the contest. So if you're seeing this after the 9th, then it's too late. So you could win this beautiful game called Delicious. Wonderful little card game. It's pretty. About vegetables. And if you like vegetables, you'll like this game. I find vegetables are what my food eats. So, there we are. All right. So here's some comments we had on the last video. Aaron Nunley says he absolutely loves quattro or quarto or whatever it's called. Absolutely loves it. So that's one hit for you there, Lewis. Then our guy, the Lazy Hiker, he's been playing along with us, so he's been putting up his top 100 kind of. He just puts what's in his top 100 from last week. He did his 80 to 71, put it on the comments. And so he was talking about crossovers, didn't think we'd have too many, but him and I actually have two crossovers. He hasn't done any crossovers to you yet. I feel he will. He did say, out of our games that we talked about, he likes Karuba. He loves Castle, well, not loves, but he will play Castle Panic. The two he despises is Quarto and Machikoro. So those two games he just says he does not want to play or whatever. And hey, everybody to each their own, right? If you like the game, if you don't like the game. So we had one person that loves the game, Aaron Nunley, and one guy who doesn't care for it. And that's what makes the world go round, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the games he would like to try that he hasn't tried that we've mentioned is Codenames Duel.
Okay.
So you had mentioned that one?
Yes.
Or Duet, whatever it's called.
Duet, yeah.
All right. So that's our comments. So let's get started with our number 70. I'll take the first get-go, I guess, since you did it last week.
Yes.
My number 70 game is a game it's called Lewis and Clark. It was not on my list. It's his first time appearing on my list. It's ranked 285 on BGG. It's by Asmodee. It's a 2013 game, 1 to 5 players. Takes about 120 minutes to play. So in Lewis and Clark, the Expedition, you are trying. It's a race game. Basically, you're racing up this river by using worker placement and card manipulation. But you have to have certain cards to go over the mountain. And you have to have river cards to go through the river. And you're just trying to be the first one to discover the new world, right? The expedition or whatever you're trying to do. But it is worker placement. I find it fun. You get to deal with Native Americans on the board. So it's one of those games where you're working with Native Americans. You're trying to trade with them and do things. And there's other things that you're working on. I think it's a very good game. And if you like that kind of worker placement racing game where you're trying to race to be the first one up the river to do whatever, to discover the new world, whatever it's called. I think you'd enjoy this game. So my number 70 is Lewis and Clark, The Expedition.
My number 70, folks probably will recognize it, even though the name is different, is The Werewolves of Miller Hollow. It is a 2001 game. The publisher is Louis Mimi. I believe I say that right. Players 8 to 18.
Well, it's a big one.
Yes.
For a large group.
Yes. Rank on BGG 1,355. So folks still play it. It is, you probably going to recognize it now, about there are werewolves in the village. You try to figure out who are the werewolves. The villagers are trying to find them before all the villagers are eaten.
Okay.
And in this, they have a daytime and a nighttime round. You close your eyes. Werewolves open their eyes and they'll find each other. You have a seer that can cheat around. You have a thief. You have so many characters. Now, folks might say, "Oh, that's Legends of Werewolf." And
it's the werewolf game. Yeah.
Actually,
One Night Werewolf, Ultimate Werewolf. That's all the same, right?
Yes. This is one prior to that.
Okay.
So
it's before the werewolves.
Yes. This one has a few other characters in it. That'll make it a little more interesting that the main one doesn't have. And the main one, I think, is from 3 to 11 players. Werewolves Miller Hollow, actually, the sweet spot, they said, is 3 to 11 players on this one. But they have a couple extra characters, like the Idiot, that doesn't get killed for some reason.
Oh, that'd be me, yeah.
And the Crying Child, that if she dies, everybody dies.
Gee whiz.
So they have a little bit of extra characters in here that makes the game more sometimes interesting or sometimes challenging. But same way it is, like the Werewolves game, I enjoyed this one because the few extra characters that you can play with.
Interesting. I'd seen that one somewhere. I've never played it, but I've seen it in stores or on BGG. People want to trade it or whatever, or for sale. Yeah, I've seen it out there.
Yeah, I don't own this. I actually been trying to find it so I can get it. But when would I play it?
And that's the problem with these large party games is I love to play them.
Yeah,
right?
Me too.
I love to play them with a lot of people and get excited. Problem is, I don't have a lot of people that I get to play them with all the time. So it would just sit on my shelf and rot. So, usually I don't like to do that. If there's something that I have that's not getting played, I'll trade it off or sell it. All right, my number 69 is Coimbra. Coimbra was not on my list. It's first time period. It's 229 on BGG. It's by Igor Spiel. And it is a 2018 game. 2 to 4 players. Takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play. Coimbra is a dice game to where you're manipulating dice to put into these... you roll dice. You're going to draft dice is what it is. Draft dice. And it has these cool little crown or castle-looking pieces you set the dice into. And then you're going to place it onto the board. And the dice has multiple significance for color and numbers on the pips. So when you're placing it over to the right to select some cards to build up your tableau, to score points and to get other things, it's usually the highest number to the lowest. But there's some, I think the very first one is lowest to highest to give you the bonus point. So you have to figure out what dice you want to take, what you're trying to accomplish. You have these tracks on the right-hand side to trying to move up. There's one for money and victory points and some other shields and stuff. So it's just because you're spending shields or money, I think. I can't think if it's money or something else. But anyway, you're spending 2 different resources to buy these cards. And so if you're the first one there, you put a 6 and somebody else comes along and puts a 5, they go behind you. But if you put a 5 and they put a 6, they go in front of you. So they may get the cards you're really wanting. So you have to be thoughtful of what you're trying to do there and kind of, strategize a little bit. So I really enjoy this game. It's even pretty. I mean, it's a nice looking game. The dice are like translucent colors. And the little holders are magnificent for it. The dice don't run all around the board, or get knocked around because they're in these nice little containers or whatever you want to call it, nice little holders. But Coimbra is such a great game. It's almost dice placement with worker placement, and then the dice have other meanings of moving up the track. So whatever color dice you have is the color track you're going to move up. Okay. It's a great game. I enjoy it. It's one of those point games. You're trying to get as many points you want. Why Coimbra is my 69. I was thinking about cornbread. I'm hungry.
I never heard about that game.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
My number 69 is Risk. Now, a lot of folks have played Risk. Myself, I like theme Risk. And the one I have and played quite a bit is Lord of the Rings. The trilogy one. I just like how you can manipulate your armies going back and forth. That's with any Risk game. For me though, I like the theme ones. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars.
Well, they said the Star Wars one, it doesn't play like original Risk.
No, it doesn't.
It's much different. And I'm assuming the Lord of the Rings is the same way.
It is much different because it's really one against everybody else. Imagine the lone army against the 5 armies of the enemies. So you're trying to fend off everybody else while still surviving. It is not an easy game, It is stacked against you. That's why I like it. The problem is, these games I have right here, I hardly ever get it to the board to play.
To the table.
Yeah, or I have never finished them. So that's why this list part is right in the middle, because I would like them, but either don't get them to the table enough, or I just haven't finished them.
Interesting. I played Risk as a younger person, in my teens, on up into my probably early 20s with other folks, and really enjoyed playing Risk. It was a lot of fun. I really wanted to play Risk Legacy.
Yes.
I never really got to do that, but I thought that would have been fun. But I do enjoy Risk, and I'm sure I'd enjoy one of those. So
I'm sorry.
No.
It's a 2003. Got the information.
All right.
2003 game. Hasbro Parker Brothers made it. 2 to 4 players. Ranked 2,519 on BGG. This version.
Right.
There's some other versions that are ranked really high.
Yeah.
And other ones are ranked really, really low.
Well, I'm sure that Risk Legacy's ranked pretty high. I'm pretty sure it's ranked up there.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
So that was my 69.
That's a good pick. My number 68 is one of these party games, if you will. This is Secret Hitler. Secret Hitler was not on my list. It's made a big jump. It's ranked 244 on BGG. It's by Goat, Wolf, and Cabbage. It's a 2016 game. 5 to 10 players, takes about 45 minutes. What I like about Secret Hitler is everybody is either bad guy or good guy. I don't know what they're called, can't remember. But anyway, either a good guy or a bad guy, right? You want the bad things to happen, you want good stuff to happen. Well, there's a president and then there's a chancellor. So if you're the president, you get to pick your chancellor, right? So as president, you take, I think it's 3 off the stack, 3 tiles off the stack, and you're going to select one.
Yeah.
And you put one back, and then you pass the other two to your chancellor, and they're going to pick one. So they might pick you might hand them 2 bad things. There's no choice. They've got to pick it. So everybody's going to point at them as, oh, you picked that bad thing because you're Hitler, right? Or you're a bad person. That may be and it may not be. So this game just has so much deductive fun in it that I just really like the hidden roles and how it works. It's such a fun game. And once you get to a certain point on the board of having those tiles put out on it, you get to assassinate someone. And if you assassinate Hitler, then, everybody that's good won the game. And if you don't, and it gets through, all the bad things get through, then, the bad folks won the game. I enjoy Secret Hitler. I think it's a lot of fun. I know Christine at the board game store really doesn't care for it. But I think it's a fun game. I think if you like it, if you can get past the theme, some people get put off by the theme of it, and I get that. Because it stirs up some conversation, but I like the game concept. I think it's very good. So that's why number 68, I believe, is my Secret Hitler.
My 68 is Munchkin, Batman.
Munchkin Batman.
And I know how much you love Munchkin.
Yeah.
2003
game. I'm a closet fan of Munchkin.
2003 game, publisher Steve Jackson Games, 3 to 6 players, is ranked 14,964 on BGG. Now, this Munchkin game, I actually like it. I want to get it more to the table, but a lot of folks are hesitant about it because it's Munchkin. You backstab to climb up to the top. To be the first one to get level 10. You're defeating actually in this, you're defeating the villains of Batman. Poison Ivy, Bane, Mr. Freeze.
Sandman. No, Sandman's not Batman, is it? That's Spider-Man.
That's Spider-Man, yes.
I don't know my superheroes.
The Riddler, the Joker, and so on.
That's them.
Yeah. Well,
the Penguin.
Dadgummit, I get one. So, you move up. and you're either Batman, Robin, Batgirl, the Commissioner, and a couple more. But if at the last level, level 10, you defeat the villain, you actually can share the victory. The first, this is, to me, if I'm right, this is the only much game that you can share victory. So, the one that you actually can start teaming up with somebody slowly, and then at the okay, you know what? Let's both be the heroes and knock everybody out. So you can actually share the victory.
Oh, so it can be played cooperatively.
Yes.
Ah, interesting. I might enjoy that one. I don't like playing Munchkin with people who know the game really well and know what cards do what, and they're waiting on. Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, this one works a little bit differently like that because the cards work the same way, but these actually you go back in the stack that you can actually keep drawing them. So it works a little bit differently. Like the end, you can share the victory on this one. So that's why Munchkin Batman is my 68.
All right. 68 was Batman Munchkin. My number 67 is Fabled Fruit. And Fabled Fruit was on my list last year at 83. It's now 67, so it's pushed its way up. It's ranked 1016 on BGG. It's by Stronghold Games, 2016, 2 to 5 players. Takes about 20-30 minutes to play. And I would say probably 30 minutes on the high side. You know, this game could be played probably in 15 minutes if you play your cards right. Because this is a card game. This probably should have been on my top 10 card games if it wasn't. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but it is all cards. But in this game, you have a worker that you're placing out on these other cards to do the action on the card. Or you can go, once you collect enough fruit, because you're collecting bananas, pineapples, coconuts maybe, I don't know, there's some other fruit. And you buy the cards. And once you buy the card, it turns it into a fruit drink, wine, whatever you want to call it. And once somebody gets 5, then the game's over.
Okay.
But the game continues to grow. So if a stack runs out, there comes in a new stack. These cards, I mean, there's a bunch of cards. So you're always going to have something new coming out. And it is so good that there's different things that happen throughout the day. There's a monkey that comes into play and steals fruit and does this. It's weird. And you play as an animal as well. You're either a turtle or some kind of bird. I don't know. There's a bunch of them in there. But Fable Fruit, it's called a Fable game. So it just keeps growing. But it's just basically buying those cards to make fruit juice to win the game.
Okay.
But you're trying to strategize and getting resources to be able to do that. So that's why Fable Fruit is my number 67.
Another game I've never heard of, though.
Oh, it's so good. I got it right over there somewhere. It's right there.
Okay.
It's so good.
So we're on to 67.
Yes, you're 67.
67. My 67 is Root.
Root. Wow, that's a big game.
Yep. Not Groot, but Root.
Root. I am Groot.
A 2018 game. Publisher Lender Games. 2 to 4 players, and it's ranked numbers on BGG 31.
Yeah, it's a high-ranking game.
It is.
People love this game.
Yes. I love the game. However, I have never finished the game. Never have finished the game. I would like to one time sit down and finish the game. It takes between 60 to 90 minutes to play. But sometimes more, especially if you're playing with new players, and you have to really walk them through it. You're basically, it's a wooded community. And you have to pick between squirrels and raccoons, I believe, and other little creatures. And you have to grow your community up. while fending off ravens, I believe. I think that's what it was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a bad experience with this game. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Ravens, I believe that's the evil ones that come in and trying to steal your stuff, but at the same time you are fighting each other to gain more of the forest and protect the forest. It's a very strategic kind of game. You have to think ahead several steps, or you're going to end up losing your camp area, your little meeples. You can get them back, but it takes time. So it is not for everyone. It is a very thinking game, which I like those kind of games. Games that you have to think about and make 3 to 4 steps ahead. That's games I like. That make me think outside the box. But Root, it just takes a little different route with the animals. And there's expansion packs to these too. Yeah, several of them. I like the one. Eventually, I'm going to buy the Root. Eventually, and buy the. I think now is a solo expansion that you can play solo, and that way I can get it to the table much more often myself. See if I can beat it. So that's number 67 is Root.
Had a terrible experience with Root. I played this game with a couple of folks, and y'all know who you are out there. I will not play this game again. I say that. I might give it another try. You know how you play games with certain folks or in a group setting and it's just not as fun, or things just happen to go wrong at that point.
Yeah.
I was I don't know what clan I was, what faction. I might have been the Rabbits. I don't even know if it was Rabbits, but I had a bunch of people on the board, and everyone was attacking me. I mean, not just one person, everyone that was playing. And I said, this isn't fun. You know?
No, it's not. It's and I feel you there.
Yeah.
You have to when you learning how to play a game, or it's just for fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very thinking kind of game, but when you're literally teaming up on one person.
Well, I don't think they did it on purpose.
No, it wasn't on purpose.
It was how it was happening. You know, it's
Yes.
like, how is this fun? There's another factions on the board. Why are they just attacking me? And so it was a little frustrating for me because, first of all, I was just learning the game.
Yes.
Didn't understand what I was doing. And so my people are just being taken off the board right now. So I had a pretty bad experience playing Root. Now, will I play it again? I might, but it's not one that I'm going to champion for. I promise you that. And I feel bad because it's probably a great game.
Yeah.
If it's ranked that high on BGG, it's got to have something good about it.
Yes.
I just don't know what it is. So that was my experience with Root. All right. My number 66 is Bang the Dice Game. You had Bang the card game. Bang the Dice Game for me so it's really not a crossover. I don't count that as a crossover.
No, it's not.
Bang the Dice Game for me is quicker. This game was 92 on my list in 2002, and so it's moved up to 66. I'm having trouble with my phone. It's ranked 785 on BGG. It's by DV Games. 2013, 3 to 8 players. Takes about 15 minutes to play, and that's about accurate. But in this game, you have hidden roles. You're either, like we talked about on yours, you're either desperados,
sheriff,
outlaws, sheriff, or deputy. I do have an expansion pack where you can be a ghost, you can be other things. But you're rolling dice, and on this thing, there's little glasses of beer, there's gunshots or bullets.
Yeah, bullets.
There's
arrows,
and there's some other things. So in this game, you can heal yourself or you can heal other people. You can try to take care of your sheriff if you're the deputy or if you're the desperado, because you want everyone else dead before you try to kill the sheriff. Because you have to be the last man standing before you can kill the sheriff. The outlaws can kill the sheriff anytime they want and win the game. So I just think Bang the Dice Game is a lot of fun. It doesn't take too long to play, so player elimination is not that big of a deal. I just think it's a lot of fun. So that's why Bang the Dice Game is my number 66. Absolutely love it.
All right. Yep. Actually, I think I played it enough times with you with the dice game, and I actually like it too.
Yeah.
It just didn't make it on my list because I haven't played it. What requirements I made for myself. So number 66 for myself. You're gonna love this one. You love this game.
I'm sure I will.
You talk about a lot about this game.
All right.
It's Ticket to Ride.
Oh my gosh.
But the rails and sails.
This list ought to be called Games Calvin will never play. No.
The rails and sails version. It is a 2016 game. Publisher Days of Wonder. 2 to 5 players. Ranked 781. Now, on BGG. 2 to 5 players. 5 players too much for me. For me,
too much for me.
The sweet spot for me is 3 players. Now, I know how much you love Ticket to Ride. And yes, Ticket to Ride can be frustrating. It was frustrating to me the first couple of times I played it. The original version. I really didn't enjoy it myself.
Right.
It really cut me off what I could be able to do. But as more versions came out, this version lets you go by either by train or by boat to your destination.
Mm-hmm.
So I've found ways to use the boat to go around areas that folks would block me and just get to my destination. And that's why it's ranked 66 on mine, because I do like it, but I still don't play it enough to make it higher on my list.
Mm-hmm.
But same things, you have cars to draft, you got to get so many of the trains of the same color, so many of the boats of the same color to fill the tracks up, to turn them in, to expand your boats or trains. Now on this one, you have carts. In the train version, just train, you have so many trains you can use.
Mm-hmm.
Here you have to divide how many boats you're going to plan to use for the game and how many trains you are planning to use of the train.
Interesting.
So you have to divide your big count of boats and trains in the way that you think you're going to be using them. So folks starting to notice that he's using a lot more boats. So on this one. So that's why Tickets to Ride, Rails and Sails is on my 66 spot.
I actually played Rails and Sails with Christine and somebody else. I don't remember if it was you or who at the game store. And I actually didn't mind that one.
You didn't mind that
it's one? Not, I mean, it's not like I'm going to ask to play a
right.
Ticket to Ride game ever. But that one was tolerable. I actually didn't hate it as I do Ticket to Ride so much. Ticket to Ride is, to me, and you know, I no offense to the publishers, no offense to the designer, it's just not a game for me.
Yeah. So
I think if you like it, that's great. You play it. But don't ask me to play it. Anyway, my number 65 is Rajas of the Ganges. Rajas of the Ganges is another one of these dice placement games. So on the board, you have this scoring track, which is really cool. You have a fame track and you have a fortune track. And when your fame and fortune cross each other, whoever the first person is to do that, the game has one more round. It's over. If multiple people do it, it's who's got the most fame. So it is a game to where you're trying to balance getting fortune and getting fame. You're putting out dice to manipulate and get other dice. You're going up a river with your boat, trying to score other things, get dice, score points, build things. But not only are you doing that, but you have a little board in front of you that you are building up your town, your whatever it's called down here. And if you connect certain places, as long as you have a road going back to your palace and it connects to an extra thing that you can get, then you'll get it. If there's no road, if you can't trace a road back to your palace, you won't get it. So it's kind of putting these tiles down. So you're buying tiles, you're manipulating dice, you're scoring fortune, you're scoring fame, you're going up the boat river. You have a chance to get more boats on the money track, the fame track, I think, and the boat track. Once you cross a bridge, you can get an extra person. So this game, but you can only get 2 more. You got 3 opportunities to get people, but but you can only have 2 of them, extra. This game's a lot of fun, and you have this little statue. It's got a hand out. I don't know what it's called in India, but it's pretty cool. And you put your dice on the hands and on top of the head, and you can deploy them out. The game is a lot of fun as dice placement. I enjoy it a lot, and it's a really, really colorful board. This thing is out there. And the people that made the Rise of Queensdale made this game. So I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. So that's why, what are we on, 60? Nope. 65. That's why Rogers of the Ganges is my number, 65.
I played that once with you.
Did you?
Yes. And I forgot who else. And I only played it once. And at this time, I don't like it. It was just so much to do. So much to do. And I've played other games there's a lot to do on the board. But this one, it just overloaded my mind. And it just turned me off on it. Now, I do go back and play games that do that to me to readjust.
Give it a second chance anyway, yeah.
I haven't got a chance to do that. So, right now it's just like Ticket to Ride for You.
Yeah.
I'm not touching it right now because it just overloaded myself. Being also dyslexic.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's just threw my mind all whack.
But it's such a great game.
It looks beautiful.
I think if we sat down, it was just me and you, and we just kind of slowly went through it, I think it wouldn't be so overwhelming all at once. You know what I mean? As trying to compete with 2 or 3 different people.
Right.
So I think you. But if you don't, that's good too. Yeah. It's up to you.
Now my 65, and it has happened. Crossover.
Hey, our first one. First one between me and Lewis.
It is Not Alone.
Not Alone. Great.
A little bit higher than yours.
Right.
2016 game. Publisher Geek Attitude Games. 2 to 7 players. On BGG 881. What can I add to you? What you had from last week? It's a great game. It's great. I love being the alien. I like being the alien. And how you only start off with 5 cards, 1 through 5, but you also can get more cards. In the total, you can only have 10 in total, and the number you have in your hand got to correspond with the cards on the field. And there's sometimes the alien going to be putting one of its little chips on 2 cards to make it hard for you to grab them, and can force you to go somewhere. There's a card on there. I think it's number 4 on the field, because there's 10 cards on the field, and you have to use what you have in your hand to go to there.
Right.
There's one that literally lets you move up free of charge. The track, the spaceship track, free of charge. Problem is, you really are screwing over your teammates when you do that, so to speak. But it's a great game. It's a fun game to play. I like it. I don't own it, but it's one game I don't mind putting back on the table as much as possible. It's hard to do this one right here.
And it's also hard to get enough people to play. You got to have at least 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, 3 or 4
for it to be a lot of fun.
Yes. It says 2 to 7, but the sweet spot is 4.
I would play it with 3. 4 is probably the sweet spot, and anything over that's gravy.
Yeah, it is.
It's good. So I think that's one of those games. The more, the better. But it will suffice with 3. But 4 is kind of the sweet spot. I agree with you, Lewis, on that. But yeah, and anytime, if we're around and I got it, or we're going to game night or something, tell me to bring it. We'll play it.
All right.
My number 64 is Murano. Murano is, what is wrong with this phone today? Murano was ranked 37 last time on my list. It's dropped a little bit. It ranked 151 on BGG. It's by Hutch Games. It's 20. No, I lied. It's Lookout Games. I didn't tell you what the Rogers of the Ganges was. All right, so it was not on my list last year. Murano was not. This phone is tripping. All right, it's ranked 1,499. It's a lookout game. It's 2014, 2 to 4 players, 60 to 75 minutes to play. Murano is one big rondelle. Rondelle where you have a circle of how you're going to get things. You have these boats on the outside of the board, and you're moving a boat to get certain things. You can get cards that you can score points with, like objectives for the game. You have gondoliers that you're placing out. You have these islands on the board that if you have a gondolier person there, you can start building on that island. You have to build streets to the things. So to the buildings, there's red buildings, blue building, or green buildings, and yellow buildings. Red, green, and yellow. And so there's also on the street tiles, there may turn up customers on the street tile that would be, it's red, blue, and green. Maybe. Anyway, whatever the colors are. So there may be customers on those street tiles. And there's some of the ending game scoring cards that say you score so many points for each customer if you have a blue store there that takes in the blue customers. So this game is a lot of fun. It's about scoring points. It's a huge rondelle. You can't move a boat past another boat. If you want to move a boat, you have to move the boat in front of it first, and then you can move the other boat, but you have to pay money to do that, and money's hard to come by. So you don't want to do that too often. Murano's just a great rondelle placement of the boats, getting the things that you want to do. Now, I will say, with 2 players, it's pretty easy to get to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. If you have more than 2 players, it gets a little more difficult. You have to start planning and spending a little bit of money to move some boats to get to where you want to be. So I really enjoy Murano a lot. That's why, I tell you what, this phone, that is why Murano is my number 64.
Oh. Actually, I never heard of that game.
It's sitting right over there.
I see it now. My 64. It's been a while for a while. It's a simple game. It is called, and I know, Pop, I'm going to screw this up. Yeah, I haven't misspelled it here. It is called...
Oh, it's Quirkle.
Quirkle. My wife miswrote it here for me. She couldn't read my handwriting. Quirkle. 2006 game. Publisher Mind Wars. 2 to 4 players. And it's ranked 992 on BGG. Pretty high.
Made top 1,000.
Yeah. You have tiles. You have red tiles, orange, green, purple, blue, I believe, and I think yellow. And those are the colors. Then you have shapes. You have stars, circles, squares, pluses, and triangles, and I think a couple more. And you're scoring points 2 ways. You either match the colors as you put the tiles in. So you can match colors. Each time you match colors, you score 1 point for each one. And you match. Or you match shapes. So let's say you have 4 stars on the board. And you have 1, 2. So you put that one down. You match those 5. You have 5 points. However, let's say that star is a blue one. And you have 5 blue items over here. You put it in a way to score those 5. Now you score 10 points on that. So it's a very fast-paced game. I think, 45 minutes to play on this one. Less than an hour. But I've seen it played quicker than that. Because the quicker, the more points you can come in combinations, the higher those point value becomes. I've seen folks play this game and purposely just put anything out there just to get rid of some that they don't want, and hopefully they get something back in, and they do, and then they put maybe 4, because you start off with, if I remember, 5 tiles, and as you put out, you draw. So you always replenish your tiles, and they just get what they can. Then they set it up, and they can score. I've seen it. I think the highest score I've seen was 17 on one. 17 to
at one time.
At one time,
wow.
Yes, they just score it place it in the right spot that they just connected 3 lines, I believe, on that one. So it's a nice, easy game to learn, easy to pick up, not major complicated rules. So Quoquel is my 64 on that one.
I've seen this game in like Books A Million or whatever.
Yeah.
And it looks like it would be pretty fun. It looks like I would enjoy it.
Yes, it's.
But I don't know. I just don't know if I would like it or not.
It can be a mean drafting game. It can. But at the same time, if you with friends and everything and just enjoy playing, it's not going to be it. Just evil drafting.
Well, I mean, so it's really abstract though.
Yes.
You're trying to. I get it. Trying to put out all the colored stuff. It looks really colorful. And how big are the tiles?
The tiles are about this big.
All right.
Yes, a little
cool.
simple.
I've been looking to. I don't know. I was thinking about picking it up one day. I probably should just for the fun of it. All right. My number 63 is El Gaucho. El Gaucho was not on my list. This game was ranked 2,431, and I don't know who publishes it. I didn't have it on here. It's a 2014 game, 2 to 4 players, takes about 60 minutes to play. In this game, you are a gaucho, and you are buying cattle. And these cows have numbers on them, so you can either go, when you take a cow into your herd, you have to put like cows with their herd. So you're wanting to keep your cows in either ascending order or descending order. But you can't change in the middle of the stream. So it has to be, if you're going to start a herd out ascending, then you need to keep it ascending. If you're going to start a herd descending, it's got to stay descending. And if you ever break that, so if you have cows that are 1, 5, 7, and then you pick up a 3, well, now you have to sell all those other cows. And now you start with the 3. But the good thing is you get exactly the point value that's on those cows to score the points.
Okay.
There's places on the board, there's worker placement to where you can go, and cows don't get used until the row is completely full of gauchos, whether it's your gauchos or a combination of other players' gauchos. So there's rows of cows on this pastures, and so you're drafting dice. One person rolls these dice into a corral, and you'll draft the dice out. Each cow has a value of how much it's supposed to cost. So if the cow costs 6 and you have a 3, you can take your 3 and put a 3 dice on it and lay your gaucho down because you paid half of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you get another 3 later on, you can stand your gaucho up and he's now ready to harvest that cow. So you're just collecting cows, getting money. There's some spots on the bottom of the board that allow you to break some of the rules, where you can switch a dice to any dice you want or get an extra dice to make it anything you want. It's just a fun game. It's easy. It's not a hard game to play. It's very just laid back and enjoyable. That's why El Gaucho is my number 63. I like it a lot.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Another game I never heard of.
I got a ton of them that you've never heard of.
Now, my 63. And I hope it doesn't cause controversy. Because I only play it twice a year.
You play it twice a year?
Yeah.
It can still be one of your favorites.
Yep. But twice a year, but several times during that time. A lot of folks debate about this. It's a movie-themed game.
Okay.
I think it is, when it's set, it's fine. It is a set for that time. It is that kind of movie. My 63 is Die Hard, the Nakatomi Heist.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's a great game.
Yes. And a lot of folks, it is a Christmas movie, my opinion.
I agree. It's a Christmas movie.
And I'm not going to change my mind on that.
Yeah, for sure.
2019 game. The Up Games publisher, 2 to 4 players, 8,542 on BGG.
Well, that's low.
I know it's low.
It's a fun game.
It is a fun game. So, of course, you're John McCain trying to mess up all these crooks. It's a one to many players, depending how many players going to be, depending what they can do. Actually, it's divided in 3 acts. Act 1, 2, and 3. The board starts out folded, then it flips over, then it spreads out as you go on through the acts. You get to do 2 actions. John McClane, if he ever runs out of cards, he is dead, and the crooks get away. The crooks gets to do actions to unlock. They have to unlock the locks of the vault, so they get actions to do that. They get to put out 3 cards. 2 cards go to solving the combination. 1 card goes to the action. But depending how many players, depending how many crooks are on the board that John McClane has to avoid. So it is a kind of thinking game, but not at the same time, because John McClane also has to complete certain goals to get further on to the next act. And even the crooks got to complete goals to give them little bonuses. So if John McClane completes the goals, he gets bonuses to keep on using for the rest of the game. But if ever John McClane gets 5 hits on him or runs out of cards, he's dead. On that. So it's a fun game. I like those games. It's one against everybody else, which explained that where was it? Not Alone. Mm-hmm. I like those games.
You're a one versus many and a take that kind of guy.
Yes. Yeah. So my 63 is Die Hard: The Nakatomi Heist.
Not a bad pick, Lewis. I actually played that game with Kyle. Well, it used to be in my game group. Still a good friend of mine. He was John McCain, and I was the bad guys. And I think it's rigged to John McCain. I'm just going to say that now. I think it's rigged towards John McCain, or I'm just terrible at playing the game. But I got close, I think. I think it was pretty close. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It's a little aggravating when you can't get to John McClane and try to get him, Well, but it's very fun. I couldn't think of. It's just a lot of fun, and it is a Christmas movie. I watch it every year at Christmas. Yep. I watch the movie every year. I don't own the board game, but I do watch the movie every Christmas.
Now, those who have not played this game or have not seen the movie, if you play the game, it will spoil the movie because the game actually follows the movie. So this is the one board game that is movie themed that actually will spoil the movie for you if you have not seen the movie.
And if you haven't seen the movie, what are you waiting on?
Yeah, I know.
Go watch it.
Go watch it.
Great movie.
It's on, I think.
I'm sure it's on Netflix. I'm sure it's on Hulu or somewhere. Got it. Yeah. I guarantee I watch it on. I think I actually own it on DVD. That's how old I am. I still have DVDs. All right, my number 62 is probably not a real popular game. It's called Grand Austria Hotel. Grand Austria Hotel was not on my list. This is first appearance. It's ranked number 63 on BGG. It's by Lookout Games. 2015, 2 to 4 players. Takes about 60 to 120 minutes to play. In Grand Austria Hotel, you're trying to get guests into your hotel. But you're trying to get certain people, certain areas of your hotel with room colors, I think it is, and you got to feed them or give them something to drink to get them into you give them tea or coffee or whatever it is that they're drinking, and you get a room ready for them. This game is just trying to score as much victory points as you can. It's a thinky game. You're trying to think ahead. Grand Austria Hotel is a game I don't own, but when I get a chance to play it, I'm always happy to play it because there's just something about it that I enjoy. I hope to pick it up one day. I have not. It's one of those things to where we get caught up in the anticipation of the new and the cold of the new. Yeah. and we don't always get back to get some of those great games that we think about and have played. And Grand Austria Hotel is one of those games that I truly enjoyed. You're just trying to put people in hotel rooms and matching, I think it's colors. I can't remember right off the top of my head. It's been a while since I played it. But you're giving them something to drink or scones or something, tea in your little cafe, and then you're trying to put them into a room and score victory points. It's such a great game. Grand Austria Hotel, my number 62.
My 62 is a game that I have never finished. Have played it several times.
This is your unfinished list.
Yes, it is. Die Hard. I never finished that one either. Yes, back on that one. It's Unfathomable. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Unfathomable. 2021 game. Publisher Fantasy Flight Games. Players, 3 to 6 players. It's ranked 607 on BGG. It is a long game. It's actually 120 to 240 minutes. So a 4-hour game. Basically.
Yeah, that's no big deal.
You're a steamboat trying to get to your destination. But while you're traveling, the sea monsters are coming up and trying to bring you down. It is, to me, it's rigged against you. Completely rigged against you. Trying to get your passengers safe.
And there's a traitor, right?
Yes, there's a traitor. You don't know who the traitor is. There might not be a traitor.
Right.
So you have to acclimate, I believe, 7 points or 11 points of destination. And because every time you make the destination, you get a little chip, a card or a chip with point value in there. You don't know how much they are. They are mixed up. They're shuffled. So you just keep track. I've only seen 1 point. There's supposed to be more, but I've never seen it yet.
There's a rumor that there could be more points, but he hasn't seen it.
But you have, as you go on, you do your actions. But the creatures come in, and they start moving in. They're moving in. And when you think you get them all, they're still coming more. And if the mother and the father of these sea creatures ever come on, they're all going to be jumping on the ship and coming in, destroying the engine or messing up the medical bay so you can't heal. It is just a complete havoc on this game. It is, you don't know what's happening because you got to meet certain stipulations every round. It is, to me, is one of the few games that is very unpredictable on the draw of the card. So for that reason, Unfathomable is my number 62.
You know, I really want to play this game. I haven't played it yet. They say it's like BSG, Battlestar Galactica. That was out of print for so long, and then they brought out Unfathomable, and they say it's kind of like that with the trader aspect and all that kind of stuff, and I really want to play it. I haven't had a chance to, but yeah, that's a good pick, Louis. Yeah. It's a little low, but it's a good pick.
Yeah, well, I just don't play it enough.
Maybe we can get Christine to let us play it at the game store. All right, my number 61, this last one on my list for today, is Fortune and Glory, the Cliffhanger game. It was ranked 48 in 2022, so it's dropped a little bit. This is ranked 1,210 on BGG. It's by Flying Frog Productions. 2011 is the year it's published. 1 to 8 players, 90 to 240 minutes. Now, this is getting a reprint. This game has been out of print for so long, but it's finally, Flying Frog is finally doing a reprint of Fortune and Glory, the Cliffhanger game. Now, I love this game because it gives me the Indiana Jones feel. You are traipsing through, you draw cards at the first of the game to find out where these treasures are. And you draw 2 cards. You may be trying to find the Ring of Venus, or it could be the Ring of Power. It's 2 cards, and they always seem to work together to create such a cool object you're going to look for. And you have these temples you have to go through. Not only that, but you're either fighting off the mob, or you're fighting off the Nazis. And they have a little Zeppelin in there that goes around the board as well, along with the Nazis. And when you're at a location, you have to do a location at the end of your turn, something that happens at that location. And it's usually something like you're in a car chase and you're speeding around a corner and it becomes a cliffhanger. It's one of those games like dun dun dun, and you don't get to find out until your next turn to flip the card over or what's going to happen to you. And then you have to roll dice by using your traits to figure out if you pass this test or not and what's going to happen to you. So that's why they call it the cliffhanger game, because it has that dun dun dun. Is he going to make it? Will Batman beat the Joker? In the next episode, we'll find out if he lives. Of course he's going to live. He's Batman. He's got to have another series. But anyway, you don't always make it in Fortune and Glory. But it's such a fun game. The only drawback to this game is why it's fell a little bit for me is the setup. The takedown and setup. There is a lot of stuff in this box. Oh. It's almost like it's not near as bad as Gloomhaven, but it's close. But I enjoyed the game so much, and it being out of print, I was never going to get rid of it once I found a copy of it. And I had to drive all the way to Oklahoma to get a copy of this game. I drove up there for this guy, and I bought. Actually, we were doing a trade, and so I traded some games with him, and I got that one in the trade. Guys, I absolutely love Fortune and Glory, the Cliffhanger game. Flying Frog does artwork. Most people, it's kind of one of those that are polarizing to some people. They don't like it because it's just pictures. I think it's pictures from their people that work with them. They'll dress them up in these costumes, and it's just pictures and this and that. I absolutely like that.
Oh yeah, me too.
I like it. So the artwork doesn't bother me. I enjoy it a lot. Now I think Fortune and Glory doesn't have that as much. It does have some. But some of their other games are a lot of pictures and people playing dress up. I absolutely love Fortune and Glory. That's why it's my number 61. I couldn't remember if I was on 60 or 61. Anyway.
My number 61. Very simple game. Very fun game. It is called Setup. A 2023 game.
Setup.
Publisher Mindware. 2 to 4 players. It's ranked 992 on BGG. Setup. It is a tile place game. You have numbers. Numbers are with different colors and different. If you know poker, you will have either a spade, a heart, a diamond. What's the other one in poker?
Clubs?
Clubs, thank you.
It's like, I don't know where we're going with this.
Yeah,
okay.
Clubs. So, you'll draw tiles. They're numbered. And with those suit, you are trying to make sequence on the board to score points. So, if you have a 5, 4, and 3, the more you go in order, the more points you get. You have to have at least 2 to score points. A 1 doesn't do it. So if you have 3, 5, and 4, but there's a 6 and 7 there on the board already, and you can put your tiles in there and add those your tiles to those numbers. As long as they connect on the grid, because there's lines on the board to connect them, you score all those 5 points. Oh. Now, at the same time, if there's a 2 threes on the board already, and you put a 3 there, each tile is only counted once though. But those other 3s, you made a 3 of a kind with those 3s. So you count those 2 3s on top of your 5. So now you have 7 points. Well, guess what? You put that 7 down. No. 7 already there, but you put a 5 down, and there's a 5 over here. You count that 5. Now you have 8 points. So the more you can do in sequence, the more points you get. However, when you start off, you only can start off from your area. Okay. It's a board that is the 4-sided, of course, and you only go from your point of view. Now, if there's an empty spot, they are considered open spaces, so anybody can use that. So Setup is a very quick game. It actually takes between 20 to 25 minutes to play.
It is quick.
Yeah, it is quick. And it is little bit of, take that, very little bit. It's more of a little math game. That's what it is. Math game. But I don't get it to the table much. Because now folks, they see numbers, they think of adding math work, they don't want to do it. So that's why setup is 61 on my list.
It sounds like you're just making sets and runs.
That's all you do.
Sets of numbers and runs of numbers.
Yeah.
And and you said they all had suits too, right?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Interesting. I might have to check that one out. Well, Lewis, that was the end of our video at this point.
Yep.
Guys, check out our videos. Hit that subscribe button. I'd like to hit 500 by December 31st. Also hit that like button. That'll help us a lot. And hey, give us a comment. Tell us what games are on your top 100. What games you like out of our list so far. And once again, I want to say, like I always say, get a board game to the table. Spend time with your friends and your family. And thanks for watching Calvin's Guy Game.